Far off, in the distant isles of the Orient, there's a storm a-brewing. I've seen it at work. I've watched it consume Japan. China has been set ablaze, and tremors shock across the Pacific. Now it inches towards us, verging on the west. One after another, we fall. I have seen the future, and its name is virtual YouTube. Cultural trends may come and go, but I've never seen a genre take off quite like virtual YouTube has in the past few years. In less than half a decade, they've cemented themselves as a pillar of otaku culture, taking their throne atop Comiket 98. What started with Kizuna Ai and a small handful of imitators back in 2016 has rapidly blossomed into a massive field of tens of thousands in less than 3 years. Virtual aliens, vampires, robots, catgirls galore. It's a craze that swept Japan by storm and rapidly cemented itself in Japanese culture, otaku, and mainstream. Certainly not uncommon to see more popular virtual YouTubers referenced in talk shows or manga, or watch their hashtags soar to top global trending during a live stream. Live events and virtual concerts, made with the same technology used to bring Miku to 3D, draw crowds of thousands. Early virtual YouTubers, or VTubers for short, mostly spent their time copying Kizuna Ai's formula. Oyabun was very safe, similar to what you find on TV. Pre-recorded comedy routines, skits, and variety entertainment that would not be out of place on a Japanese talk show, just with a virtual host. But since 2018, that style has dropped off in favor of a new generation of virtual live streamers. When the Ichikara company launched NIJISANJI for the iPhone, an app using Apple's Animoji tech to map faces onto anime characters, they created a group of anime streamers as proof of concept to demonstrate what the software could do. However, the explosive and unexpected popularity of these streamers forced Ichikara to reconsider and rebrand the project as an agency of virtual YouTubers, spearheading the move away from Kizuna Ai-styled scripted content and towards streaming instead. Rather than rigging themselves to difficult 3D models, virtual YouTubers have mostly switched to 2D, using facial capture technology to superimpose their expressions onto anime avatars. Now, instead of a full-body motion capture suit and a staff of engineers, anyone could be a VTuber with their phone and a half-decent gaming PC. Suddenly, instead of dozens, we had thousands of VTubers. In Kizuna Ai's time, VTubers were mostly a curiosity and reliant on gimmicks. From virtual gorillas, to virtual prisoners, to virtual old men in lowly bodies. But now they've become an extensive industry with the rise of these streamers. And instead of the fairly uniform collection of digital variety shows, VTubers started branching out with their content. Anything you can imagine in a live stream, you can just slap an anime avatar over. Gaming streams are the majority, of course, but there's plenty of karaoke, vlogs, cooking, illustration, etc. I've seen virtual YouTubers play Hilux, trade Forex, and give lectures on behavioral economics. I guess bored grad students have too much time on their hands with the quarantine. Can't be an assistant professor with no one to teach. This growth has not been gradual. It's explosive, exponential, and it hasn't shown any sign of stopping. I've found myself falling down this hole too. What started as a passing interest and YouTube recommendations quickly became 8-hour sessions of watching digital schoolgirls play Animal Crossing. I can feel the VTubers overtaking me. It is a good pain, but let's not speak too highly. Let's not pretend this style of content is anything new. Even to the Japanese, who have been slow to embrace live streaming in general. Though niche, Nico Nico streams, or Nikonama, have existed for years beforehand, and many VTubers are just old-school Nikonama streamers reincarnated. But the burgeoning popularity of virtual YouTubers is a far cry from the small and insular community of NEETs that comprised Nico streaming. A popular Nico streamer would be lucky to get 1,000 viewers on his stream, while the popular VTubers can often manage between 10 and 20k on a live stream. Even Western fansub channels who translate VTuber clips often get more views than a Nico stream ever would. So why this sudden surge? What is it about slapping an anime avatar onto a live streamer that suddenly skyrockets their sub count? The rise of virtual YouTubers stems from a cultural shift, changing standards for entertainment that's starting to place emphasis on authenticity and honest expression, which live streamers meet more effectively than television or film. VTubers are somehow both fantastical and mundane, simultaneously 2D fantasy made real, and 3D hearts laid bare. They fill a niche of personal connection, more candid than anything else in Japanese media. This is achievable only because performers are in a virtual space, where their identity is vague and they are unshackled from obligation and etiquette. Particularly in Japan, a country where social interactions are often seen as a burden, a duty, rather than recreation. In the past, virtual YouTubers were seen more as fictional characters, the product of writers, actors, and animators working in unison. Their content is just a form of new age anime, as it were. But over time, it's become apparent that while people are drawn in by the over-the-top anime characterization, virtual YouTubers don't exist in a space divorced from reality. When Kizuna Ai's parent company, Update, decided to create multiple Kizuna Ais for multiple channels and countries, all with different actresses, the fanbase flew into a rage, to put it lightly. Ai's original actress, Nozomi Kasuga, was well beloved, and fans saw this as an attempt to diminish her. That the company saw Kasuga as a threat to them because of how much control she had over this character, and they wanted to diminish her, to replace her, to drain what they saw as the soul out of Kizuna Ai. Kizuna Ai wasn't just an anime character, she wasn't just a work of fiction, she was an identity, a person that countless fans have formed a relationship with. Too bad she's dead now, but at least Non-chan has her own channel. With the emergence of the NIJISANJI group, whose VTubers are all streamers, no one writing their scripts or telling them what to do, VTubers have gone from fictional anime characters who primarily perform in comedy skits to being real people with real experiences that the audience partakes in vicariously. This new style of VTubers, the unscripted, unedited virtual streamers who work on improv and their own personality, have grown to be far more popular and profitable in recent years, and now dominate the scene completely. It's not entirely a new concept. Whether it's idols or games or anime, a great deal of Japanese media is concerned with building parasocial bonds with the audience, to break past the social barriers and create a space where the characters or idols or comedians on stage feel familiar, like they're spending time with good friends rather than complete strangers. Consider the similarities between VTubers and the 2000s late-night cute girls doing cute things anime. They give the audience an intimate look into the girls' private lives. They let you share in the joy and sadness of these moe girls, circumventing the barriers real people put up between one another, and especially between the kinds of people that will watch virtual YouTubers. You can be comfortable around them because they're fictional characters, and fictional characters don't need personal space from the audience. Get it? Fictional characters don't need personal space from the audience. The only problem then is that 2D characters ain't real. The glowing window forever separates us from our waifus. We can never share with them our thoughts or console them in their times of need. Our love cannot be returned. These objects of affection live in fantasy, like modern gods. And though we can build shrines to them, worship them, and donate to Aniplex billions of yen in offertory, in the end you can't get past that dimensional divide. Y'all OGs remember? Go man, I know that you are But VTubers, you can talk to VTubers! They can cross the screen! They can bypass that fourth wall! The audience shares in the lives of these chubas. It's real-time, interactive anime. And intimacy is entertainment. Taking suggestions, asking for advice, reading your name when you send them a super chat. Certainly, this close-knit relationship between streamer and viewer is the same reason why live streaming took off in the West as well, but cute anime avatars are appealing to a decades-old existential dilemma. Why can't my waifu be real? Well, now she is. And you can simp your whole paycheck to her. Hallelujah! VTubers are the light of the two-dimensional world brought into our reality. The lamb of a digital Jehovah, nascent angels breaking down the barriers between reality and fantasy. The Gospel's revelation is no secret. Agency names like Hololive and NIJISANJI readily reveal a connection between this world of 2D fantasy and our 3D reality. That's what they're marketing. Not necessarily that they're bringing the audience virtual girlfriends, but that they're emulating the appeal of 2D anime. They're creating this cozy atmosphere where the audience and streamer alike can put down their shields and enjoy the sensation of being close to one another. Certainly we're not watching them for anything else. Most of them can't dance and they can't sing, and that's why they all cover the same Nanawo Akari song over and over again. It's like that and Roki. You can watch as the language begins to shift around this unique appeal of VTubers. Just as the anime of the 2000s came to be defined by the idea of moe, a similar term has arisen in the VTuber sphere, te. The word is like a bastardization of tutoi or tatoi or something along those lines, meaning like precious or adorable. Te is the affection you see between virtual YouTubers, the sense of friendship or mutual support that comes off as endearing and sweet. It's almost voyeuristic in a way, the way we watch these girls. But virtual YouTubers aren't actresses playing out a particular fantasy either. 2D gods might walk among us, but they're still gamers. They possess an irreverence born of the internet. Hell, the most viewed NIJISANJI video of all time is just a 4-minute long shitpost about getting ghosted. Contrary to the tradition of Japanese idols who push images of purity and positivity, the most popular VTubers tend to be rather crude, emotional, sometimes even spiteful. Whether it's talking about their galaxy brain fetishes, or weight gain, or menstruation, many of them are uninhibited, to say the least. And yet, they're still staggeringly profitable. Kaguya-Maya is notorious for having no filter, always dissing other VTubers, mocking her audience, and being maybe a little too personal at times when talking about hygiene. I mean, the woman pissed her manager off so much, he quit the company he started. But she still has 1 million subscribers across YouTube and Bilibili, and remains one of the highest earners overall. I think she was like top 5 in 2019. Granted, Maya is something of an extreme case. Most people take more than 1 bath a month. But in Japan, where people are expected to behave with utmost courtesy in public, as trust increases, politeness decreases. Candidness closes the distance between you and the creator, and makes them sympathetic. When you act gross, or vulnerable, or crude, you make your audience feel like you trust them, and they get the impression that you see them as a close friend. And this is a type of appeal you won't find in the spotless idols or the saccharine sweet late-night anime. You won't find someone being themselves at their worst. I mean, of course, these VTubers might be acting or exaggerating their behavior, but the important takeaway is that there's a new generation of fans who don't want squeaky clean idols. They prefer real people, warts and all, just packaged inside an idealized anime body. Here's a case study. Otogibara Era, one of the most popular streamers under the NIJISANJI company. Originally, her character was designed to be this wholesome Cinderella type girl, and for a while she played that part. But streaming in this facade for hours at a time proved kind of stressful, and in a now private GTA stream, she dropped the act and just vented about how she wasn't anything like this character. How exhausting it was to do the stupid voice all the time, and how she wanted to just be herself, an outspoken, emotional otaku. Even though she quickly took the stream down, this ended up causing quite a bit of controversy, which resulted in the character designer leaving NIJISANJI, and the girl deciding that she might as well just be herself anyways. Era was dead. Long live Gibara, the greedy loudmouth who proudly begs for money and then wastes it on Deresute. And surprisingly, it did wonders for her popularity. People enjoyed how real she was. Thousands of memes popped up about her blood-curdling screeches. She was so much more entertaining once she started showing her true colors. Hell, what really spiked her popularity was a 3D livestream where she threw up in front of 50,000 people, and we were all regaled to the music of Gibara Vomit. Oscar Wilde once said that man is least himself when he talks in his own person. Give him a mask, and he will tell you the truth. Nowhere is this more evident than the bizarre authenticity of virtual YouTubers. Sharing parts of themselves no one else knows, trusting a bunch of online strangers with their deepest secrets. I've seen them go so far as to stream to grieve the death of loved ones. When you're not yourself, when you're playing a character, ironically you can be a little more honest, knowing that you're protected by this anime mask. Once you don't have to deal directly with backlash, you can loosen up a little bit more. For many VTubers, their online audience might be the only people they can talk to. Being virtual, you can keep your life as an entertainer, and your private life separate, knowing that if you embarrass yourself on camera or accidentally spill some personal information, the neighbors won't be gossiping about you for the next 2 weeks, and your parents won't call you up demanding an explanation. You can be personal without having to sacrifice privacy. Whether you're ranting about a fetish, grappling with the death of a loved one, or just being your true, disgusting self, a chuba can get all that off their chest. It's less embarrassing for you when it's an anime character talking and not your flesh and blood. That's what draws so many introverted entertainers out of their shells. This is certainly not exclusive to VTubers. So many Japanese personalities and performers refuse to show their faces on camera, even when they're speaking directly to the audience. These virtual avatars are just a new type of mask, and I'd argue a lot of Western YouTubers beat Japan to the punch. From artists to reviewers to persona rants, it's certainly not an uncommon practice to use an animated avatar in your videos. Maybe you're shy or self-conscious, or maybe you're afraid of being recognized in public, or maybe you're speaking on a topic that you wouldn't dare be associated with in real life. Having a virtual identity also removes a lot of the growing pains associated with being a content creator and mitigates many of the risks. Audiences have an easier time getting invested in a cool-looking character than a person they know nothing about. And the VTubers can figure out their style and get comfortable streaming while keeping their viewers an arm's length away. They don't have to expose their personalities right away for the world to see and to judge. This virtual character acts as a buffer, a shell for the gestating streamer, an angel's egg, if you will. I would argue that the vast majority of virtual YouTubers start out as actors playing a character, but then gradually transition into being streamers. Having a virtual character to play that comes with some cool features right out of the box. You've got backstory, characterization, a design sheet. Why be a boring nobody when you could be any number of magical creatures? A cat girl, or a witch, or a demon, or a maid, or a sumo wrestler, or a Chinaman. It hooks your viewers' interest and gives your fans a bone to chew on while they slowly get to know the real you. Your identity can leak into the character bit by bit until you find a mix that you're comfortable streaming as. VTubers are somehow both fantastical and mundane. Simultaneously 2D fantasy made real, and 3D hearts laid bare. It's contradictory, but it works. Virtual YouTubers challenge our perceptions of identity. They force us to reconsider the distinctions between the fictional world and the real. They foster a healthier relationship between creators and fans than existing Japanese media. They upend standards of purity and provide an example to others, showing that you don't need to be some sort of fake idol to win fans. That you can be validated just for being yourself. There's real potential here, and I'm delighted to watch as virtual avatars infect and assimilate a myriad of feels. The amateur singer culture of Nico Nico Doga, the Utaite, have mostly transitioned to being VTubers, because why not? You'll want to interact with fans anyways, and being an anime girl can protect your real identity while still giving your fans a face to adore. Plus, you can make money off of Animal Crossing streams. The same goes for illustrators, manga artists, dancers, musicians. In this age of constant leaks and the threat of doxing, having a fictionalized virtual persona might just end up becoming the norm. I see in this virtual world both the future and the past. For me, this VTuber boom evokes memories of late 2000s anime culture, the Nico Nico age, the age of Toho and Vocaloid and Macross Frontier, from the endless mashup videos, the musical remixes, the fan games, and all other sorts of content. Small groups of passionate nerds driving the conversation, not mega corporations. This is where the new era of fan subbers are, where original content gets made, and fans wade into content creation. In contrast, I can't help but be cynical about the state of anime fandom today, where fan culture has been culled by copy strikes and commercialization, where you can't make a meme without some company immediately slapping it on its shirt, where devoted fan creators are treated as competition and not contributors, and true OC is so rare as to be the stuff of legends. It's no wonder why so many people have quit, so many fans have lost interest, and the average age of an animator in Japan is now 45. Why so many prominent content creators have jumped on the VTuber bandwagon instead. This is the new frontier. It's liberating. An oasis for creators. By nature, VTubers invite participation. Invite the fans to come in and spread their gospel, to make clips and compilations and fan art. Will it last forever? Who knows? Maybe in a couple of years, all VTubers will just be corporate mascots for whiskey companies with dumb gloves. But I've seen this magic before. In the days of Code Geass and Gurren Lagann, the days of Lucky Star and Toho and Vocaloid, the mashup magic of fan culture, fan creation, where the air is heavy with indecipherable memes, the scent of sweat and love. I've been waiting so long. And it has returned at last on the wings of virtual angels. This time, I'm not going to let go so easily. It feels good to be passionate again. Amen. With this pandemic, I found myself with a lot more time at home and a lot less to do, so I'll look to make videos more regularly from now on. I've also started a Patreon to help cover some video expenses. I don't expect to make too much money, but if I can at least cover my editor's expenses for a video a month, I'll be happy.